Hey, how's everybody doing? Everybody's doing well. Thank you all for joining. For the attendees that's coming in, we're going to give it a few minutes to get this webinar started. Again, looking forward to this opportunity today. This is a very exciting topic for you all who have come in. Again, this is going to be a really great opportunity to talk about how to win six-figure grants for your nonprofit. So again, I'm going to give it here just a couple of minutes. We're going to be getting started here no later than 7:05. We won't be long tonight. I recognize that tonight is it's a Thursday night, right? And so we're excited that people have looked to come on and to learn about this great stuff. So we're going to be getting this thing started. I'm joined here by my moderator, which is my wife, who's going to help assist me and also the slides tonight and getting this information out to you guys. And so give it here about a couple of more minutes. We're going to be getting started. Super excited. Welcome again to How to Win Six-Figure Grants for your nonprofit organization. I'll be dropping some really strong gems for you guys. I'm looking forward to it. We got 2 more minutes. I'm going to be going live talking about how to secure six-figure grants for your nonprofit organization. Again, we're going to be talking about some great opportunities, right? That's going to really allow you to take your nonprofit to the next level. Again, I'm super excited for this opportunity, and thank you all again who chose to join me and to come on tonight. We're going to be getting started here in about 1 more minute. So please get settled in. I'm looking forward to, again, being a part of this conversation with you guys. Hello, welcome everybody again. I'm Lorenzo Lewis, your moderator for the night. And again, I'm super excited for you all who have chose to join me on this journey. Again, thank you all again for the opportunities. Thank you for, again, being able to trust into what LPOU is offering about, working with six-figure grants, building this out for your nonprofit organization. Again, thank you all who have signed up for this webinar tonight. It's going to be some really, really great information we're going to be giving. I'm really looking forward to next steps on this journey. I'm joined here by my wife, which is our moderator tonight, that's going to be able to answer any questions to help you all to see how this can be vibrant, great to your learning and to the support that we're looking to give you here at LPOU to help you value the work that you're looking to do as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, someone who's looking to start a for-profit and a nonprofit organization. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Again, welcome everybody for being here. I'm Lorenzo P. Lewis, affectionately known for starting one of the top mental health organizations in the United States, particularly supporting Black Americans by the name of the Confess Project of America. If you don't know about the Confess Project of America, please go check it out. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the great work that I've been able to do as a nonprofit entrepreneur, being able to get six-figure grants, how you all could also be able to benefit from those grant opportunities, and as well continuing to learn and to be able to gain more information about how you can level up your funding strategies and your funding techniques. Next slide, please. So something that really stood out in my journey, right? I never forget trying to raise funds years ago. When I first started my nonprofit, I had zero lick of experience doing this, right? And so what I really recognized was that there was people and companies and corporations that are looking for people like you, right? There's people and companies that were looking for folks that had ambition, for people who had just a desire to want to change the world. I've been grateful to been able to raise $1 million in funding, particularly here in Gillette, right? Gillette has been able to give my nonprofit over $500,000 in funding, right? Over the last 3 years, I started the mental health organization, and we were doing work in barbershops, training barbers to be mental health advocates. Again, if you didn't know, again, check out the Confess Project of America. But this funder here was able to grant our organization $500,000 in funding. Crazy numbers, right? In addition to that, the Texas Rangers, right, partnered with my nonprofit, and they were able to give us some funding as well. We also partnered with the baseball team. Snapchat also was a funder of the work that we did. And Aetna Insurance who deals with healthcare, was a funder of the organization that I've helped to start as well. Recently, we've gotten about $200,000 from Aetna, right? Been funded by Google. Google have been able, I've done speaking engagements with Google. I've been able to do corporate talks with them and their employees. And again, you do see it, the Atlanta Falcons, right? My nonprofit has been able to gain $100,000 in funding from the Falcons. And you see it again here on the bottom, SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse for Mental Health and Services Administration. We've gotten about $400,000 in grant funding. How did this all happen? How does someone who has zero lick of experience be able to go out and work with these corporations, be able to go out and really do these amazing things, right? And in this webinar, I'm going to give you some tips and some ways that you can learn about how I was able to do this, right? Again, we're talking about over $1 million in funding with just those people, right? And towards the end of the webinar here, I have some examples of funding that we also just got for our nonprofit as well. I've been grateful to build 2 now successful nonprofits. I'm on my second one by the name of L&J Empowerment. We're doing some amazing things in criminal justice and workforce development. I started my career in the nonprofit space, in the mental health space. And so I'm someone who already understands how to do this, right? My team, I know grant writers, I know amazing people in the fundraising space that can really also, again, help to support you all as you're looking to go on this journey. One thing about it, when you're really looking to go on this journey, is you're going to need help and support, but you're going to need the education as well. And this education is going to be so important. So here on this slide, we're talking about private, public, city or state dollars, right? What are the steps to securing these funding? Like, how was I able to secure $500,000 in revenue from Gillette, right? And I tell you that there was also just opportunities in which I knew I had to really genuinely lean in and really understand the structure and how that structure could really support me and also support the organization to being able to do that. The first step that you're going to need to do is step number 1, you need to become a physical agent of an existing nonprofit, right? The easiest way to enter into getting funding, you got to become a physical agent, or you'll see later on down the line, you'll have to establish your own nonprofit charter, right? But the easiest way to entry of being able to start getting nonprofit funding, find a friend, a local nonprofit, make sure that you have a mission and a vision statement, make sure that your stuff is structured in a good way, where you talk about building a partnership, building a memorandum of understanding, which is an MOU, an opportunity, and a partnership with an existing nonprofit to becoming what they call a physical agent of that nonprofit. When you become a physical agent, you also are opening yourself up for the opportunity to be able to go out and get funding, right? So a lot of people say, well, how do I get funding? How do I start as a nonprofit? You have to become a physical agent. This is one way to do this, right? The second way to do this is you have to, regardless, you have to file paperwork with the Secretary of State, depending on the state that you're in. So you have something on your Secretary of State website by the name of Domestic Nonprofit Corporation. Make sure that it says domestic if you're in the US. If you're not in the US, it needs to have something around foreign corporation document for being a nonprofit. Something to that knowledge, right? I don't know a whole lot about international foreign nonprofit statuses, but I can speak more about the United States, but you got to file the documentation. And this, you have to have this regardless. So whether you're going to be a physical agent on number one, or you're going to be what it is on number three, and what that is having a 501c3 status and a board of directors. You have to have this in order to have a nonprofit if you're wanting to own the nonprofit outright. And I say own it like be the principal person on the paperwork. When you do step number one, you're just partnering with someone and their nonprofit, and they bring you under their umbrella, right? So it's like an umbrella experience. You go under the umbrella, you become a physical agent. But if you like, hey, I want to be my own person, I want to run my own charter, then you have to file a 501c3. I refer you to go to an accountant or someone who can help you with that paperwork to setting it up through the Internal Revenue Service, right? You would need a minimum of 3 board of directors. Without having a minimum of 3 board of directors, you're unable to also set up that nonprofit, right? You have to have that. This could be 3 family friends, 3 professional friends. I would advise you, again, to sort out and seek out the right board members that you're looking to bring on this journey with you. And so you got to make sure that, again, you're having those board of directors, you're bringing in a minimum of 3 people that's going to sit on your board. And so these are just the first 3, right? And then number 4, you must have an LLC, applying for funding that does not require to be a nonprofit. So if you're looking for ways, like you want to be a nonprofit, but you also want to look for ways, unique funding opportunities in which you can become a for-profit, there are plenty of city, state, and private contracts on the federal and state level where you just need to have an LLC. So a lot of times you can also have both, right? You can apply for grants, particularly with private corporations, private institutions like that I listed there, corporate sports entertainment organizations, and you could be a nonprofit, right? But if you're looking to offer services, just say you want to consult, you want to be a consulting, you want to provide some coaching, and you need to be looking into city, state, and federal contracts, right? You need to be looking into government contracts at this rate. There's a lot of city and state contracts as well at your city and your state level. So you should be looking at procurement opportunities at your city and your state level, but you must have an LLC, or again, you can use your nonprofit. But the strategy and what we're teaching today is how to grow a 6-figure income. You need to have both, right? Because you can also set up business credit through your nonprofit and your for-profit, and they can actually work together. But in order to learn more about that strategy, that is a longer opportunity that I'll be teaching at LPOU around how you can do both, leverage both. But yes, you can have both. And I do advise people that are looking to have both as an arm of their work to really, again, set that up. Next slide, please. So some of your notable private family foundations are Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation. I used to work for this foundation. This is where I learned about the philanthropic sector, right? And so the philanthropic sector is where you're learning about, like, who are these people that give you money as a nonprofit? And these are just some examples. The J.B. Fuqua Foundation. This is also a foundation that I've worked with as well. The Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation is also a foundation that I've worked with as well, which is also the owner of the Atlanta Falcons. These are 3 foundations that you can seek out to look for funding. But there's a lot of due diligence work. And here in the next slide, I'm going to talk a lot more about, some private family foundations and just some things that you're going to need in order to ensure that you can get funding for these kind of opportunities. You must, if you're looking to get private funding, ensure that the 3 best methods of engaging those folks that I just talked about in that last slide is you must attend these conferences. You got to go to these networking events where people are in these spaces that work for these foundations, right? You got to be at these conferences. You got to be out here networking and shaking hands. You can Google nonprofit conferences, nonprofit fundraising conferences, looking for those keywords on the internet, making sure that you're in these spaces, right? Making sure that you're networking. The second, and a lot of people underrate this, is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a powerful tool if you're looking to grow your nonprofit, if you're looking to engage and build a network. LinkedIn is an awesome opportunity that you all can use to engage funders, right? There are tons, hundreds, private family foundations. You have public foundations like the Kellogg Foundation, the Bill Gates Foundation. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? There are tons of people, but you have to get on places like LinkedIn and find these folks. You can go to people, organizations, search these folks out, send them an engaging message. If you're already building a program, share your program with them folks. Hey, I'm Lorenzo. I've done, I've reached 2.5 million people in the mental health industry, and I've engaged, so many, young men and women to have a better mental health. Hey, check out this media link, right? We was featured on USA Today. We was featured on CNN. Hey, check out this partnership that we built with Harvard University, right? Or check out this partnership we built, with adding an insurance company, like making sure that you build those relationships, but you're also selling yourself, right? Because there are people on LinkedIn, and most of the people on LinkedIn in the nonprofit space that's a funder, or people that are funding nonprofits. They want to hear from people like you, right? You got to build a relationship. One of the best ways to use LinkedIn, though, and I'm just going to be honest, and I got to get this back to my guy and my coach, YB the Connector, shameless plug, who has really helped me in my journey on LinkedIn, is find someone on LinkedIn that know the contact, have them to reach out on your behalf, make the introduction, right? Which is a warm introduction. So when you're reaching out cold on LinkedIn, you may not get any response back. We're talking about these foundations. They got millions and billions of dollars they're giving away every year. They're always being hassled about people that's trying to get funding from them. So find a warm connection of someone who knows someone. Just recently, I spoke to a financial services organization. I knew a guy at a bank. He made the connection. We had a call with the team, and the president of the foundation, she loved what we was doing. Guys, it's very likely that that funding is locked in, right? We've locked that in. But it was because I knew a guy at a bank who made the introduction on LinkedIn. And then now, hey, we built a relationship, and she's passing on our portfolio to their board of directors. They're going to make a vote. Very likely they're going to make the vote. We're going to get the grant, but it's because of that warm relationship. So ensure remembering that you having these warm relationships is going to be very powerful so that you can build up the opportunities that you need to get those grants. Another thing is to how to engage funders, other nonprofits, right? Talking to other nonprofits, right? Engaging other nonprofits. There are other nonprofits out here who are getting funding, talking to these folks like, hey, what are y'all doing? How are y'all connecting the dots? Making sure that you're networking with other nonprofits. Social impact firms, right? Social impact firms are groups and firms of folks that are working with foundations that I just talked about, corporations that I just talked about, and they help nonprofits to get funding and to get their word out or to get a campaign out about the work that they're trying to do. And then fundraising association groups. There is a fundraising group in every city across the country. You can look up like the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Google this, write this down. Association for Fundraising Professionals. You can become a member in these, or you can also just meet a fundraising professional. And these are people that you need to talk to about that's going to help you with getting funding for your nonprofit, because those people that are in those fundraising professional groups are those folks who are actually networking with foundations, with people that know how to get grants, and they're actually helping to build relationships to help their clients with maybe you, which is a nonprofit, to get funding, right? So it's an association of people that go out and become fundraising professionals. They also learn best practices. So these are also people that are continuously learning about fundraising, development, how development needs to be done, et cetera, right? Next slide, please. Where to find and how to hire a grant writer, right? One of my favorite topics. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not an amazing grant writer. As a matter of fact, I'm probably a horrible grant writer. But starting with my nonprofit career a long time ago, I did actually write grants, right? I had to do it all on my own. I bootstrapped everything, and I got out there and I made it happen, right? But I will tell you, if you're not a professional grant writer, you need to, again, make the right connections and get you a grant writer. I have an amazing grant writer that I work with. I'm not willing to give her name up right now. However, there are tons of other grant writers that are out here that are doing amazing work. I will say this to say that working with a powerful grant writer will be a game-changing experience for your nonprofit journey. And the grant writer that I so happen to work with, as anyone who's looking to get into LPLU, will gain that access. So I want to make sure that I'm being clear, I'm not willing to share that now. However, those who are looking to join this network of learners in our community will get access to grant writers or people in our network, right, that are actually doing this type of work. So, but how to find a great grant writer, right? LinkedIn, again, LinkedIn is a powerful professional platform. Go to LinkedIn and look up grant writers, right? Type in grant writers. Indeed, which is a very popular job medium, right? Everybody's familiar with LinkedIn. I mean, Indeed. Going out to Indeed, going out on Google, searching grant writers, local grant writer firms, and nonprofit organizations. Ask other nonprofits that you know, who's your grant writer? Who do you work with? Is she looking for working with a new client? Hey, I want to start my nonprofit. I need help with writing grants. Another thing that you can think about when you're looking to hire a grant writer, if you're someone who just want to learn how to write grants, I would advise you to hire the grant writer for a period of time, have them to help you set up your framework and your infrastructure where you can actually start doing it on your own. Grant writing at some point is all copy and paste. You're just continually changing out the narrative, the subject, the deliverables, and the different things in the grant. Anybody who went to graduate school or went to college, if you've written a paper, you can write a grant. However, I didn't like writing papers, so I don't like writing grants, right? But if you're someone who likes to write, then actually learning to write grants, it will be helpful for you to hire a grant writer to show you how to write grants. So just remember that that's a powerful tool that you can use while trying to build your nonprofit, right? So there's people out here that I know may aspire to do that. That's just a trick of the trade. That's a freebie that I'm getting out. So if you're looking to save some money, hey, go and hire you a cool grant writer, have them to show you what they know so that you can actually save that money and you can write those grants on your own. So again, super excited to just, again, find that grant writer is a game changer. Next slide, please. The best way to stand out when writing grants, it's a few key things that you really have to have. And that's clarity, right? Being clear about what's your mission statement, right? Like, what do you do? What about your mission is unique, right? If you're trying to help, homelessness with, not being hungry, or you're looking to help children with gaining a better quality education, how does that mission statement sound? What is it about it that's unique? How clear is it, right? Like, how clear are you looking to make in your mission? What are you looking to, how do you look to gain value while creating that mission statement, right? So you have to have a clean mission statement and a vision statement. And so you can visit any nonprofit right now online, and they should have their mission and their vision statement on their website. All right. So just paying attention to other nonprofits, right? Paying attention to how their mission statement sounds. And so, utilizing that as an opportunity, because again, nothing is new under the sun. Even though there's innovative things that are happening out here, there are also people out here who can actually still do the same thing that someone else is doing and add their own special sauce to it and make it look right. So again, don't go and try to recreate something that's totally different. Just make it sound unique and clear for you. Second is, you must describe social impact. The best way in writing a grant is, how are you going to make a difference in the community? And what is it about your grant that's going to actually change the way that people live, show up, and exist in this world? Like, what is it about you? What is it about anything that's going to actually help that grant stand out to those reviewers? So when you submit a grant, just be mindful there are people reviewing the grant. There's probably a small committee or a large board. They're reading, they're looking at, okay, is it clear? Does it have social impact, right? And next, also, does it provide a return on investment for the people that's giving you the grant? Be mindful, when you get a grant, you don't have to pay any of it back. If it's a grant, if it's a loan, it's a totally different story. But if it's an actual grant for a nonprofit, you do not have to pay it back. So they want to know, what is your return on investment? How, with me giving you a $50,000 grant, how would that provide me an opportunity as a funder who cares to see that children get a quality education? So how do you provide me that return? Are you doing something that's very unique? Do you have a track record, and have you done this before? Are you an old teacher that did really well in the classroom and now you want to start a nonprofit? Like, how are you providing value? And so I want to go back to, how are you providing that value to those folks that are looking at your grant, right, before they make that decision? And then the last part of what's the best way to stand out with these grants is ensuring that you have funder alignment, right? What is the alignment? So, perfect example, if someone is looking at, clean water and, providing a better environment for animals, right? And you're looking to do something with, helping people with getting out of jail, right? Maybe you want to get people that's getting out of jail a better job, right? You're looking to do workforce development. You're looking to help people who've been formerly incarcerated, who's currently incarcerated. You have to think about, does that align with that funder who may care to provide a cleaner environment for animals, or a better sustainable environment for animals to have cleaner water? Like, just making an example. That may not be a great fit, but also on these funders' websites, they all have what they call a focus area. Write this down. Make sure that you understand every funder has a focus area. Make sure that your alignment ties into their focus area. So if they're focusing on sustainability, climate change, mental health, behavioral health, education, make sure that your nonprofit, that your clarity and all of that aligns well in your grant to provide them a positive, powerful grant so that they can make an accurate decision on your grant opportunity. So I just want to make sure that we understand that is so important, that we also look into that as well. Next slide, please. And yes, every funder have a focus area. And so that leads me to this slide as well. As of recent, our nonprofit was able to secure a $100,000 grant, right? As you can see here, this is the proof of the grant where we secured from a corporation. It was a retail corporation who have written us a grant for $100,000, right? And so this is just proof of the work that our nonprofit does in the community, particularly around supporting mental health in the Black community, in the African-American community. So this grant came from a funder, as you can see here, the actual proof of the grant and the grant that we secured. And our nonprofit has been trusted. We have a positive profile within the nonprofit space. And again, these are the opportunities that we're making in the nonprofit space, and that we're also hoping that folks like yourself are also looking to gain as you enter the space as well. Next slide, please. As of recently as well, our nonprofit secured a $450,000 grant, right? From, again, a corporation. This is one of the largest corporations in the country. And we're doing something very unique. If you notice, again, look at the line. We're approved a grant for L&J Empowerment, which is the name of our nonprofit, to support your Arkansas Barbershop Network for Youth Criminal Justice Prevention, breaking the cycle of poverty and incarceration. We just talked about how to create the best tagline for your grant, the best clarity. You see how clear, where we formed a barbershop network for helping young people to stay out of jail and to relieve their families of poverty by providing opportunities, right? And as you can see, this is also targeted on young people 14 to 21. The goal is to keep them out of jail. And so this potential foundation gave us a very large check to ensure that we're going to provide those services to those young people. So when you're applying for these grants, right, you have to ensure that you are going to provide this value, that you're going to be clear in how, when your grant writer, or whether yourself writes the grant, you're going to be clear in that tagline. You're going to also ensure that you provide the deliverables and the expectations of that grant. And again, as stated, when you secure that grant, they're going to send that grant here within the next 3 weeks, right? How cool is that? When you follow through and you actually make the strides, there's amazing things that can actually happen when you secure a grant opportunity. So again, just wanted to share that. That's what's happening in our nonprofit, the amazing things that we've been able to accomplish. And as we continue to accomplish getting grants in this space as well. Next slide, please. And again, I just kind of spoke about the impact of the grants and how, we created this name in this program. And that's another thing when you're in the nonprofit space, is developing programs, right? You got to have a vision for developing programs. That's something you're not good in. You need to be partnering with someone on your team who's good in developing grants or developing programs that can stand out with people that can actually fund your organization, right? So Arkansas Barbershop Network for Youth Criminal Justice Prevention was a vision that we had around, how do we use barbers to help young people stay out of jail? How do we use them as an asset? How do we create a network? So we're going to use these barbers. They're going to work with judges, lawyers, criminal justice professionals. They're going to all work together in a network to make sure that these young people 14 to 21 don't go to jail, right? And so that was the vision around the programming. And we did the grant. We built the relationship with the funders. We built a relationship with them, shook hands on it, agreed that it was a good fit. It took a while to get us to the finish line, a little bit, almost 2 years, right? It took a long time. That's another thing with grants. You have to be patient because it depends on the cycle, when they're offering the grant, when they're going to release the funds. So it can sometimes take a while. Typical is never 2 years, but then in some cases it can take a while depending on the amount of money and the cycle of the grant. So that's just something to keep in mind. But just being clear and having vision and understanding the development process when doing this can be very sustainable, but also at the same time is also good. However, to be clear, right? And so making sure to paint the picture. So here goes our logo, the name, how we're going to provide the services. Obviously the grant was about 6 pages long. A grant writer did an awesome job of describing how we was going to do this. We're going to reach 200 young people. We're going to do this for 18 months. In 18 months, we're going to grow and go national. Like, you had to be very clear when writing these grants to really let the people know on the other side that's writing the check how you're going to make a difference in the community. Next slide, please. Act now, act now. So again, we've talked about some amazing things tonight. And I just want to be honest that I really, really enjoy this topic. I really enjoy helping community, helping people. I've been able to do some amazing things in my nonprofit career, and it serves me a lot of justice and it serves me a lot of good to want to continue to just help people level up, right? Anybody who may have just jumped on here, I know we're getting here. We're towards the end now. We've talked about, bringing in great grant opportunities. I've showed you guys some amazing things that we've done in our nonprofit. And so here today in LPLU, if you're on our email list, you've been getting emails all week from Lorenzo P. Lewis University. And I'm Lorenzo Lewis, and our amazing team is making an amazing difference in the grant community, in the nonprofit community. Getting six-figure grants, right? You've seen the people that I've talked about. You've seen the people that I've talked about. You've seen the ways that we're looking to do this. And so right now, we have an amazing offer. We have an amazing offer starting tonight to join our learning community. We have a learning community with students like yourself that's coming into our program, right? Tonight, starting at $49.99, you get to become a part of the LPLU learning community. What comes with this, right? It's a $49.99 tonight, and each month after that is just $99 a month, right? Imagine getting resources about grants, about business, about all the things that you need to build and grow and be able to make these relationships that I've talked about. Just at the very foundation, imagine having a place to come to and get that information, right? Imagine being able to continue to get access to these webinars, being able to go back and listen to them, right? Being able to be a part of, we have a learning portal, right? So we have a learning portal where we're putting resources in there every month, right? We have a private Facebook group where we're also engaging people with information, inspiration on a daily basis. In addition to that, we are continuing to not only do these webinars, but you also be able to get into some of the products and services that we offer being a learning community student, right? You get a better deal being a learning community student as you can continue to grow and be able to get these opportunities, right? So super excited that you all can be a part of our learning community, right? So tonight, you're looking to get a part of this. The code is six-figure 50%, right? My team will drop the link here in the chat. Make sure that if you're interested, make sure that you look in the chat right here below. Go here, sign up tonight. It's a game-changing experience, right? Being able to learn from somebody like myself who's been able to get six-figure grants, create new nonprofits. Again, I'm on my second nonprofit I've built, and it's just been an amazing journey. I got to be honest with you. And I wish that I had a community like this when I started. I remember when I started, I was confused. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have no experience. And I was kind of running in circles in most cases, to be honest with you. You don't have to run in circles, right? You don't have to run in circles. This is the community. You have found the place that you can come into and start to build your nonprofit. In our private Facebook group, you can ask questions. We have a team. We have someone that's going to help assist you with asking questions, right? And not only that, we're going to also provide digital products in our learning portal that's going to help to aid you on the way. Maybe you're interested in creating another business with your nonprofit, whether that's a vending machine company, you want to do public speaking, you want to do something else and have your nonprofit. We are the place for that. We focus on building a nonprofit and a for-profit. We're the only community right now in the country that's building social enterprises and showing people how to build social enterprises, right? Helping their community and also making money at the same time. You can't beat that, right? That's building a powerful social enterprise. And tonight is the night. If you're interested in getting in on this amazing opportunity tonight, make sure that you hit the link below, and the code tonight is six-figure 50% to get you a part of this program, right? There's going to be more programs. There's going to be other things that we offer. And by being a learning community student, we're going to give you that advantage and some of those discounts and opportunities to learn more and to lean more into these services, right? I'm going to take a couple of questions. I see there's some hands raised. I look forward to my moderators assisting me With some of the questions tonight, and look forward. Thank you all so much who've come out to join me here on this this webinar.
All right, our first question in the chat is, do all the different programs you request funding from all fall under one main 501c3? And I believe they're referring to your particular nonprofit. Are you requesting funding under one nonprofit or are there multiple?
Yeah.
If that's not correct, if you would clarify in the comments, please.
Yeah, so to the question, the way that it reads, absolutely, when you're applying for funding, you do want to use one nonprofit to apply for that funding. There are people that have multiple nonprofit organizations that they're applying for funding in different areas. But however, you want to also have a consistent nonprofit with a track record in which you can go after funds in that area. And so I think that that is something that you can do. I think that that's something that you would need to do to really build a track record. There are people that can apply. In my case, we've applied for funding for 2 different nonprofits, and that's partially because of the reputation and the industry respect that I've been able to build in the nonprofit industry. And so again, however, I think it could be different for different folks. I think that you do want to build up one nonprofit with a strong track record, with a strong level of respect and trust, and then move on and create another nonprofit, right? And maybe do have a sister nonprofit that's related to that nonprofit and do work together. But also remember, when you're doing that, you're going to need 2 separate boards. You're going to need policies on both sides. It's you could maybe run both sides of that nonprofit. It may be complicated, but you have to think about growth. And so, perfect example for me, I've started 2 nonprofits. One of them I've faded out of that nonprofit. Now I'm starting my second nonprofit, right? And so you have to also understand your bandwidth when doing this. Once you start growing and getting funding, there's going to be an expectation to navigate in that nonprofit as well. So, no, thank you so much, and really good question.
Our next question is, I'm trying to start a nonprofit for multiple sclerosis awareness in my area. Are there funders for things like this?
Good question. So it depends on your area that you're in, and the area that you're in. The best way to find this out is look for your local community foundation. Every city and every state has a community foundation. You can Google whether it's Texas, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida. They have a local community foundation. You want to connect with your local community foundation. You want to tell them where you are in that state. You want to ask them about grant opportunities in your area. You want to also set up a meeting and build a relationship with them. So you want to reach out to your local community foundation. Your local community foundation is like the hub for funding in the local communities. They also have people that donate through the local community foundation all over their state. And then they use their funds and they donate it back to other nonprofits. So it's like a hub for nonprofits to get money, right? That's local. As you're starting to build a nonprofit and what you're looking to do, yes, you can start applying for some of those corporate funders, city and state funders that I've talked about, but you want to connect with that local community foundation. Really good question. I know I did not have them listed. Please make sure to connect with your local community foundation. Find out about what are the local grants in that area. Find out how do you need to make the connection, and again, get that relationship started. In addition to that, you want to also talk to local businesses in the community and ask them, hey, are you sponsoring something in this space? Are you looking to, are you interested in helping people with multiple sclerosis, right? Like, you want to ask these questions to find out what do they care about. And so you want to build a relationship with those businesses, whether it's a hospital, anyone who may be interested, that may be open to donating to the work that you're trying to do. Really good question. But again, make sure that you connect with that local community foundation. It's a really good question. Thank you. And again, all of this information and all of the great things that we're doing tonight can be found in our learning community. I want to go back to that. Our learning community is a great it's a community, it's a network of people that's really looking to engage and become a part of the this space, right? Needing this information, being able to get support in this information and being able to truthfully help go to the next level. So this has been a great webinar. And I believe we have a participant that's wanted to speak through the microphone. However, I think our moderators are at this time only accepting questions through the chat. For consistency, this is a recorded webinar. And so we are trying to keep it consistent with the noise as well as with the consistency of the webinar. So thank you again, Timothy, but please feel free to state your question in the chat, and our moderators, myself, will ensure that we can support you as best way as possible.
Or Timothy, if you're more comfortable sending us an email, we'll place the email in the chat and try to get you a response as soon as we can.
But this has been a really great night. And again, I want to thank everybody who's come out on this Thursday night. We're going to continue these webinars. Make sure to stay tuned in to Lorenzo P. Lewis, whether that's on Instagram or your Facebook. I want to tell you all, thank you again. Thanks to our team at supportlorenzopLewis.com. That's to continue to support this movement, this new movement of supporting entrepreneurs, right? Supporting people that are daring to do great work, daring to change their communities. And so we want to, again, offer you tonight the 6-figure 50% code, which is now starting at $49.99 tonight. And then in the months after that, it will go back to $99.99. But tonight, you can join the learning community just for $49.99, right? To get this process started, to get access to our network, access to this information. There's some information we're just not going to put out in these webinars, and you must be a part of our learning community. And again, the code here below is thank you all so much. And Timothy, I will take your question before we get off here, but yes, please ensure that you are identifying conferences based on that. But as well, Timothy, please make sure to send us an email at the support email so that our team can better assist and support you. And thank you for the amazing work that I know that you're doing in Africa and the things that you're going to continue to do, continue to spread the great message of the people that you're going to help over in Africa. And that goes for everyone that's here, that's doing work to help people. It's important. And tonight's webinar is truthfully about how do I finance this to help people? Like, we can't help people for free. It's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take strategy. And so tonight is just not about making money. Tonight is about how do I make money to help people that I love and care about, right? And so again, we want to thank you all that's come out tonight that wants to continue to be a part of making a difference. And we are super grateful. And again, make sure that if you're super ready to go to the next level, to make sure to go visit LorenzoPLewis.com/LPOU. It is in the chat here. 6-figure 50%. This sale ends at midnight. This sale ends at midnight. It will not go past midnight. So you have only till midnight, and then tomorrow we will be going back up to $99. So we want to thank you all. Thank you to everybody who's come on from Nigeria and Africa who's supporting the work here. And we truthfully thank everybody from the US as well who's come on and continue to support the work of the great things that we're going to all do for our community. Thank you all so much, and y'all have a great night.